Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, hello. It is I, your favorite whimsy, just getting set up here. Let's see, is this starting yet? This should be starting. Okay, it'll start. Yes, I'm live. Good for me. Always takes a second or two. There we go. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, hello, Tabby Cat. Hello, Teresa Stevens. Hello, Deborah Salzer. Why am I not? Oh, there I go. Oh, my goodness. Always starts so late. Like I'll be talking for like 30 seconds before it gets started. Anyway, Adonai Maria. Adonai Maria. Good afternoon, Erin Gobra. Thank you to everybody who sent gifts. I was at the UPS store. Unfortunately, I left stuff and did not get the stuff. So I have to go today to get the stuff. I apologize. I was going to open my presents today to everybody who had sent. Thank you. I know Noriko. Hi, Noriko. Thank you. And someone else who's, I didn't catch the name, sent me something. Awesome. Wanted to make sure you had it before your trip. Yes, I will. Open if you choose. It's your gift. Thank you to whoever you are. I didn't catch your name. Tell us your name. I will open your gift later today. I just got out of the shower, so my hair is wet. L'chaim, l'chaim. You folks think I look beautiful even when I haven't even thoroughly brushed my hair. Ice water, yes. Sometimes it is bad for you and sometimes it is good for you. If you have a high core heat, hot flashes, and all that fun stuff, Wim Hof would say, go for the ice, man. Ice is good medicine. For me right now, because I'm in a pitta aggravated state, and when you have stomach acid, when you're having hot flashes, that's like a pitta aggravation. You want to go towards the cooling foods, which of course I didn't. I ate some foods I went to a Mexican restaurant yesterday. Okay. The absolutely worst thing if you're having a heat aggravation. So I was up last night with acid reflux, but gosh darn it, those enchiladas were worth it. Okay, let's just get that straight. Sometimes it's worth it. Okay. So do not fear ice water. For if you are frail and you're cold and you have weak digestion, then we say no to ice water. If you have acid reflux and too much internal heat, then ice. Do not fear ice. That is what I would say. So right now, for me, ice is good. It's amazing how fast it melts. Literally 5 minutes. That's how much heat's in my hands and stuff. Ooh. It's yang, it's when your estrogen levels drop, and I don't take estrogen, so what can you do? And I drink and I eat and drink things that cause too much heat, like coffee. But what I have been doing is I've been trying to have my coffee be weaker because I love coffee. So I don't drink as much coffee as I used to. Um, Oh, your GI, it depends on what you ate. If it could have been that it was easy to digest, that there was no raw food. If you've got a cold digestion, then having your food, then pitta or too much heat, if you have a cold digestion, you have to know if you're suffering from too much cold or too much heat. If it's too much heat, you want to cool the body. If you're frail and weak digestion, then we say no to ice water. But my condition is too much, way too much heat, way too much heat. Like I'm jumping into ice baths, and then after 5 minutes, my ice is melted. I generate a lot of heat right now. So Wim Hof would say, you are stronger than you realize. Don't act so frail, and don't be afraid of ice. Trust yourself, trust your body, breathe. And since I listen to Wim Hof, I don't enjoy first getting into the ice. I make massive amounts of ice, and then I make a cold bath, and then I pour all the ice into it, and I'm like, but then once I get in, and I just say, observe the sensations of because I can feel the boiling heat internally, just so much heat I produce. I think that it got aggravated by my immune system ranking up, which in Chinese medicine is called your triple heater. Your triple heater. It can heat you up, and then you've got to, and then it won't cool down. I mean, it kills off the infection. You don't have an immune, you no longer have the virus, but you're still running hot. So at that point, it's deleterious. It's bad for your organs. You don't want an internal heat, because it's actually, a fever will kill you faster than cold weather, and it will damage your organs. So I was getting into the ice, and then after 5 minutes, all the ice is melted. That's how much heat I'm giving off. So yeah. But what can I do? I like my heating foods, my PG Tips, my Yorkshire tea, which I'm having right now, is my Yorkshire, but it's not as heating as coffee. So, red meat is heating. Mixing meat and milk together is very acid forming. That's why it's not kosher. It's kind of energetically not a good thing. Oh, well, good for you, Blu-ray. No symptoms. Wow. You must be really healthy. Yeah, good for you. So today's not-for-profit, we are raising money for water.org as a global nonprofit organization. It was started by Matt Damon to ensure clean drinking water for people all over the world. And so far, they have supplied water to over 67 million people. So good for you, Matt Damon. That is wonderful. And all the people at water.org who have contributed to clean drinking water globally. For nausea, we recommend ginger, lemon, and honey. The honey will give you a simple carbohydrate, and the lemon gives it a nice flavor. And I can't wait to get to Ireland. I don't drink though, so I'll go to the pubs, and I guess they have tea. I'm what they call a teetotaler. Is that right? And my dear friend Frances is coming with me, and she doesn't drink. Thank God. I'm traveling with someone who doesn't drink. She's like me. Sometimes I will have Sapporo or Asahi when I have sushi. That's when I'll have beer, is when I'm having sushi. Hi, Kay. You're in Florida. Good, I'm glad. Hopefully it's a great trip. Somebody asked a question about sage tea. I just saw a sage tea. The sage that I get I get from Crete. Crete is known, they're researching medicinal herbs out of that part of the world. And if you would like to order, there are different companies that produce sage tea. Greek super herbs, if you you can get it on Amazon, but if you're anti-Amazon, then you can just go to, well, they won't let me. Okay. GreekSuperHerbs.com. How about we try that? GreekSuperHerbs.com. If you do not want to order from Amazon. This is an interesting, the Greek super herbs, the Cretan, Dittany, sage, and the tribulus for all out benefit. But I like to do just, I make my own stuff. But I do just the straight Greek sage by itself. Looks like they've got an option here for 20 cups is 1.1 ounces. I think, to be honest with you, iHerbs may have a better option. Let's see. It helps the immune system. You can feel it scrubbing your gut. Also, Greek from Greek teas from Icaria can also be helpful. The thyme. I do all kinds of Greek herbs. Ancientfoods.com also sells it. You can go to organic sage tea and find all kinds of wild-crafted sage teas. But sage helps scrub your body. It's a purifier. It helps with the throat. It also can be made into a tonic for the skin. If you have infection or acne or anything like that, sage can be used. It is pitta pacifying, so it's drying. So if you have too much pitta, too much heat, too much oil, it's very good for you. And it's cooling. So for that, it's drying and cooling. So if you have conditions that are drying and cooling, or you need to be cooled and dried, you would use sage. Yeah. Thank you to Anonymous for our first donation for water.org. Thank you so much. Oh, you like Irish breakfast tea? Very nice. Debbie Brady's in the house. Graves' disease. Yes, Graves' disease is an autoimmune condition that produces antibodies that attack the thyroid, stimulate the thyroid, and act to overstimulate the thyroid, releasing too much T3, T4. So you can have a hyperactive thyroid with Graves. Sometimes they will recommend surgery to remove the thyroid. And it can often happen post-viral. Person has a virus or an infection. Yeah, a lot of our conditions happen post-viral infection, which is kind of a shame. Hi, Joel. Good to see you. You don't drink alcohol either? See, people think we're boring. But if you can't have fun if you need alcohol to have fun, then that's a problem. Oh, Teresa, my sister lives in Salem, Oregon. You two should try and connect. Yeah. I should mention, yes. Um, so what are you guys up to? What are you eating? What are you drinking? Be sure and say hi to one another. Be sure and tell us where you're coming from. We extend this brunch table to the four corners of the earth, of course, as is our way. And we welcome you. We only ask that all be kind and be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. Yes. Well, let's start with some conversation and then we will do the empath prayer. We'll give you a collective reading, and after that, we'll do some blitzes. As you may know, speaking of blitzes, there is a massive amounts of drones, kamikaze drones are now hitting Moscow. And the Ukrainians are getting resistance in the east. We talked about that, but they are plowing forward, heading northwest, and are in striking distance of Moscow, and soon to be in striking distance of St. Petersburg. You can imagine the terror and shock of the Russian people as they see bombs dropping on Moscow. And of course, we pray for their safety. Do people want to talk about this? We can talk about it if you want. Why was I, people were saying good. I think it's easy to, we don't want to be laissez-faire about innocent people being killed. And make no mistake about it, innocent Russians are getting killed. Kamikaze drones flying into apartment buildings with seniors. And war is a terrible thing, and that we should never be flippant about something so horrible as war. We shouldn't get comfortable with war. We think, oh, those people are far away. So it seems surreal to us, but it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing that Putin did this to Ukraine and the war, yes, but it's also equally terrible that innocent people are having to flee their homes in on the Ukrainian border. Some of them sympathetic to Ukraine, by the way. I think that all we can hope is that the war ends soon, and it looks like Poland is mobilizing. Because they've started to hit Polish airspace. So the Russians hit Polish airspace, 17 miles inside Polish airspace. So now, evidently, there's mobilization that looks like Poland could come in. Yeah, I think that the Cold War never ended for Russia. And the sad commentary is that the West doesn't feel they're ever going to be free from these cyber attacks and everything else that's going on without going into Russia, going into marching on Moscow. And sadly, it's ending pretty much how you would have expected it to have ended. Yeah, the only thing that happened by the West delaying getting involved is that more people died. It would have been better for the West to have gotten involved sooner. And now people are starting to realize that Russia is a paper tiger. It's a paper tiger because they bankrupted their own military. And so they stole massive amounts of money for their own military and don't really have much of a military left. They just keep sending young, untrained conscripts to die, and that's not really a plan. That's not really a military. NATO has already entered because how they got around it was by hiring soldiers of fortune. So rather than bringing in the U.S. Army, they took people who had been in the U.S. Army and were working as contractors. And then part of the money that was given to Ukraine was used to hire U.S. military contractors. And so we've got, I don't know what the numbers are, but we already have boots on the ground, U.S. military on the ground. And so does France. Just bring in contractors. What did we do? We don't know anything. What? So yes, NATO is already there. The joys of contracting, right? This is how you get around it. You just contract. You just contract the problem out. And that's the meat grinder. Yes, rose blue. But that's how the game is played. We didn't send U.S. troops in. No, we sent companies that hire U.S. soldiers, trained. Yeah. So that's what happened. Oh, do I think that it'll be... Probably yes. I think NATO will go in. I think that we didn't really have a choice. And it's sad that we didn't have a choice. But yeah, they've done everything in their power to force NATO to go into Ukraine, unfortunately. Somebody had asked if Netanyahu is finished. We can check on that. The 6 hostages murdered. They murdered another 6 hostages, four men, 2 women. And I guess they got the bodies out of Rafah, which makes sense because there's a neighborhood in Rafah I was telling you guys about where I felt some stuff was going on. We'll take a look at the map of Gaza quickly, and I can tell you where I thought the hot spots were. So right here is the Philadelphia corridor that separates Egypt from Gaza. And this is where from the Sinai weapons were coming in, sometimes weapon parts. People were making a pretty penny too, like members of the military were, getting paid to play. And that was how all these weapons were coming in. And then you have these mosques. And these mosques were where they were smuggling weapons. And you have a mosque here. So look at that. How does that work? Look at that. It's just a straight shoot. So if you have a tunnel between these 2 mosques, then you've got a nice little business operation going on. I think this is called the Martyrs Mosque, if I'm not mistaken. So this looked like where we were getting some activity, smuggling between Egypt and Rafah. In terms of where I felt the hot spots were, I felt this whole area. Let me see if I can give you guys a better image. This was the area that was very difficult for us to clear, was right around here. Abu Bakr al-Sadiq. And again, here's the mosque. And so this whole area was where they were smuggling. There were weapons factories I saw over here. See if we can zoom in even more. Just for entertainment, people. I'm just a really good guesser. Yeah, right about there. This is where I'm seeing a lot of activity. And then I noticed some other things too over here in the Tal Sultan area. This area right here, which was cleared recently. And we have another mosque, probably some weapons stored here. And then I noticed something interesting in this private area here near the Tabak Mosque that led me to think that this was a wealthy community that might, yeah. This area here looked like it was private and walled off, where maybe wealthy Gazans lived, right by the sea. Probably expensive homes. I felt like there was a lot of money concentrated in this area. This is the area I would concentrate in terms of hostages, was right around this area and this area. And it'll be interesting to see where they found them, because these are the two areas that I'm getting the biggest hits, but really a lot of activity over here. Any questions about that? Lack of, the IDF was about to rescue them, so they shot them in the head moments before the IDF entered the tunnels. Wow. It'll be interesting to hear what the official report is. Yeah. Thank you, everyone that is donating. Much appreciated. You know, that's the whole conversation is we can't give up the Philadelphia corridor, and everybody knows we can't give up the Philadelphia corridor, because as soon as we do, the smuggling will start up again. Clearly, Egypt hasn't done everything in their power to put a stop to it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, because people are slipping them money. Their friends in the military are in on it, right? Whole families are getting rich off of it, off of arms smuggling. So why would you want to stop? I don't know what people are going to decide to do, but if you're looking at the rebuild, if you're looking at the Marshall Plan for Gaza, you can see the bottom where the Philadelphia corridor is. We are saying we always knew they were going to have security there, that it was never going to be given back to Hamas, because if you look at the rebuild and how the rebuild is structured, you know from the way it's structured that there's no way we're going to be able to give up the Philadelphia corridor. You're not going to have peace like we have with Japan after World War II unless you secure the Philadelphia corridor. I don't think that was ever up for debate. I can't imagine it would be. I'm willing to bet a lot of money that this is the rebuild. We cannot confirm. We can, oh, come on. Give it a rest. I know damn well you're using my rebuild. And yeah, I know you're using my rebuild. I gave you permission. Uh, I'm willing to bet hard cash that they took my rebuild. Why did they take my rebuild? Because it's the best one. And because the people with the money are pushing for it. Because I got smart and I sent it to people who had money, honey. Um, so we've talked about the rebuild. They secure the Philadelphia corridor, right? There you go. That's all secured. And then you also want to include down here another oasis for Palestinians so that they have a little bit more space on the Egyptian side, which Egypt was opposed to. But if you've got security and if it's controlled areas, then you don't have to be worried about that. And then this is the A, B, and C zones in Israel with triple security, right? You've got security here, you've got security on the outside, and you've got security at the IDF here. And then you've got these safe zones where maybe that make up 3 to 10% of the Gazan population. It goes out all the way here. I ran out of space because I'm a terrible artist, but actually Gaza is much longer than that. And this is the border with Israel, and it wraps around. And these oasis points are similar to the tent of Abraham, right? Abraham, we call it the tent of Abraham, the tent of Abraham. And then you can control it. That way you're not having to control all of Gaza. And you've got this security on both sides, keeping the people safe. And then you can also bring the road. And that's where the subway system and the Tesla boring is going to happen as well, probably. That is if Elon Musk doesn't go to prison first, right? Okay. Well, if he doesn't do it, someone else will. Okay, people. Everyone benefits from, except Hamas and Iran, because Iran was occupying. If you would like, we're going to do the empath prayer now. If you would like to be included to receive a healing today, or you know somebody else that would like to receive a healing, please include their names so that they can be prayed for. I want to make an announcement while you're doing that, since we do have a 30-second delay, and let you know that the book that we are reading today, the book of the month, is written by Judy and Jameson. It is called Belle, and it's about a strong, powerful woman. Yes, an inspiration. Wow, this writing is very good. All of our writers have been very, very good. And I really enjoyed T.A. McLaughlin's book. And now we are looking at Belle. Let's see if I can see a synopsis here of Belle. It's about a woman in her neighborhood that grew up and came to mind. Her name was Belle. She was the neighborhood drunk. Interesting. Huh. Oh my gosh, she lost her daughter, and that is what took her to the streets. So it's about the healing of Belle. So that is our book. It'll be very interesting to read. We are getting prayer requests, so please include all of those people. Hi, Tony Salvatore. Of course, we will include you. Yes, X has been taken off from Brazil. Isn't that wonderful? Hopefully, other people will shut them down as well. And I think you should sell X and have it go back to being a normal, apolitical. Get this crazy political stuff out of there, right? Okay, Asher, Isabel, Shelley, Grace, Thomas Yarborough. Um, Anybody else who needs healing will be included in our empath prayer. Let's go ahead and do the empath prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively as a community, we say, Amen. And may all souls be healed. Amen. All right, we're going to do a collective reading now. If you would like to receive this reading, then it is relative to you at the time you watch this video. If something in the reading doesn't speak to you, you can just pass it down. Maybe it belongs to somebody else. The whole gestalt, right? The collective consciousness that Jung spoke about. So hopefully something in this message will speak to you. What does Spirit want you to know at this time? Thanks for being here, everyone. Much gratitude. And thank you for your donations. If any part of today is entertaining to you, think about donating to water.org. It's a great organization helping a lot of people. Where you're at right now, if you are looking for a job, if you've been nervous about getting a job, the good news is you're going to be getting a job relatively soon. I see you getting hired. Be in a good mood. Start asking the universe to bring you a job with good people, a good salary, that like you as a human being, in a positive work environment, because that's what I see coming to you. You can see a Two of Cups as the karma card, which would indicate good love, positive vibes. The more love and positive vibes we put out, the more love and positive vibes come back to us. So we have this beautiful give and take, this healing, loving energy that we're putting out. Hopefully we're putting it out on at brunch today, just sending good vibes to all of you and bringing it back. You can see Two of Cups has an aspect of healing, sexual healing. If you want a little romance, I'm going to be going to the Irish pubs and bringing my fiddle, and who knows, maybe I'll dance on a table or something. But so there's this healing, this love, and this romance coming to you. It's a very nice energy coming to the collective. And we can see Page of Pentacles, which is associated with Archangel Gabriel. It means a new job for those of you who are seeking it. If you're not looking for a job, it can be being given the writer's pen. You know what I always think about when I think of Archangel Gabriel? I always think of fountain pens. Anybody here like fountain pens? And these old pens, I guess in the 1920s, kids had to learn to have perfect penmanship, and they used fountain pens. Isn't that nice? I just found myself writing my name in the air. But so we think about the writers, the artist, the pen, constructing things. So what I like about these cards is it would denote not only a wonderful and healing time coming to all of us, but also an opportunity for, this is the time of Gabriel, which is new jobs, new work, new coin, and inspiration. You know what I love about this depiction of Gabriel? Look at the position of Gabriel. He's raising his hands up as if the coin fell from the sky. So it's good fortune. But that's kind of how people think of Gabriel, right? Is that he, she, they gives the ideas that the writers write. I think about Paul Simon. He wrote 7 Psalms. He was half asleep in that meditative sleep, and he heard a voice inside of his head that said, "You are going to write a piece of music that is called the 7 Psalms." And Paul Simon thought, okay. And he went back to sleep and he forgot about it. And then he thought about it again. Well, what does that mean? Well, it wasn't my idea anyway, so I won't worry about it. Right? Like he channels Gabriel and he doesn't know he channels Gabriel. So it's as if the coin fell from the sky and then he catches it. It's really how Gabriel is known throughout history, whether it's channeling the Quran, which is the message. It was the best of his ability. Muhammad was trying to convey what he was hearing, right? So, but he was inspired by Gabriel. But many pieces of writing have been inspired. He inspires our writing. He inspires the great idea, but he's also heralds new work and new employment. So those are both great omens for us. Thank you, everyone, for those donations to the charity. Now is the time to let go of the stuff that is from the past. We've talked about the importance of cleaning up the junkyard. Say you live in a junkyard like Sanford and Son. You ever seen Sanford and Son, where they literally lived in a junkyard and they sold junk? And one time they get held up. Sanford's son gets holed up. A burglar comes in and breaks in. And he says, "Please don't hurt me. Take anything you want." And the burglar looks around and takes a look at all the junk, turns around and leaves. Right? Like the burglar didn't want any of that junk. And that was the joke. So the Hanged Man has an aspect of, Eureka, I got it. I need to let things go. If you want new things, but your closet is full, you can't bring in new things. Your poison is another person's medicine. Your garbage is another person's treasure, right? So people get rid of their stuff, and then I go and go, oh my God, I've always been looking for a gourd that's been painted 5 colors or whatever. The things that somebody else thinks is weird, we might think is really cool. So letting go of the old stuff to bring in the new. Now is the time not to bring in any more stuff, right? Be careful about the stuff you're bringing in. It would probably be a good idea to simplify your life because you've got a 4 of Cups coming in also. So hanging stuff up and don't take in more stuff, 4 of Cups. Yeah, I do that. I bring too many things into my home. So this may be a time to simplify and to not, you know, we're coming towards fall and it's storage time, right? The winter comes, uh, yeah. So we want to see what we already have. Do an account and a reckoning. See what you already have, but don't hoard. The issues of poverty. Five of Pentacles sits in the fourth house, which would be uh, the things that hold you back from your own divinity. In the end, the only thing that matters is, are you comfortable? Are you healthy? Are you safe at this moment? At this moment, are you safe? What do you need to do to get back into the church? What do you need to go back into the light? And what you're sitting in is your own karma or destiny. What you're coming out of, a large sum of money or wealth. Huh. This would indicate that great inspiration and ability already exist with you. You already have tremendous abilities as it is. I didn't know that Prince got inspiration from the universe, but I do know somebody who is a magician and musician, who is definitely channeling some of the energy. Prince is kind of the guardian angel for people who are musicians. Three of Cups is moving into sixth position, and that would mean armistice or good times, a celebration coming to us. Um, if we vote, Harris will win, and if Harris wins, life will get a lot easier for the middle class, because the middle class have fallen into poverty, right? Inflating the price of houses. Now they're being sued, the people who are overcharging for rent, these companies that are having to answer for overcharging. So the fact that Three of Cups is moving in after an issue of poverty, letting things go, keeping your life simple, would indicate that there's some kind of a relief coming, because you can see action and reaction. So concerns about poverty will be alleviated in the coming days. There's a new beginning starting for all of us. Strong energy, strong women. This is a time of strong female leadership, hopes and fears. You're afraid to perhaps let go of certain things, right? Being attached to things. We may even be attached to our own unhappiness, say a relationship that never worked for us, but we can't let it go. You know, it's like the person that has a crappy breakfast every morning with grape nuts. Why would you ever eat grape nuts? They don't taste good. But then you ask the person, well, why do you have it? Well, I always have it. It's like you can change. You don't have to keep doing it just because you've always done it. So being afraid to leave behind the things of old, and the past is dead. Knight of Pentacles. What was is over. You know, I was listening to Seth Speaks, an audio, and she said that getting on a spiritual level is not just about changing the future, it's about changing the past. That with wisdom, we may look at the past differently. Um, and we may be stuck in old ideas about ourselves, old ideas about our past that keeps us from evolving. And so we become attached. We become attached to the aches and the pains. And now is a time to, well, what will I become if I no longer have this disease, if I no longer have this toxic relationship? Had to put a ton of sugar on it. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I can eat endless bowls of cornflakes, Cheerios. I think my favorite was Cocoa Puffs when I was a kid, because it was like chocolate milk for breakfast. It would make chocolate milk, and then you would drink the milk. Diabetes in a bowl, right? Walking away and it is over. So this fear of what will be, if we let everything go. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back and look at the Seth material again. I think it's fascinating. She was really ahead of her time. Um, yeah, this is a time of tremendous growth if you can cut the cords from your past and move on. It's also a great opportunity for many of you financially. You can see this tremendous growth. Archangel Uriel, the Ari, he cuts the path, and new growth awaits us. New growth in the way of strong women and strong business cards lay in the future. I know that they're just now starting the 2025 rebuild of the U.S. transportation. Have you guys seen the transportation map? It's wild. They just released it. I mean, that is so much work, and also permanent work once they get it up and running. Transformation. Buddha Judge. Is that his name? Buddha Judge. Yes, he released the map. Transportation build. Train map. Anybody see this? It's going to be high speed, which is convenient. I always do that. I always lean. So it's $8.2 billion project. It affects 44 states. And all of this is getting expanded, which I think is so cool. And that's really what you see when you look at these cards, is you see this energy of like movement and new wealth coming in, and also Eight of Wands is things moving very quickly, and new business and strong female leadership. Boy, don't get comfortable, though. We all thought Hillary was going to win, and a lot of people didn't vote. What's the point? It's going to be Hillary. And they supported Hillary, but they didn't vote. And a lot of young people didn't vote because they just assumed it was going to be Hillary. And we learned the hard way. How many conservative justices got in? 3? And that led to some catastrophic results for all of us. So make sure you vote, people. I think I'm going to be on tonight at 6 for Psychics for Democracy. Yay! That'll be fun. You guys should join me. I'm giving away one 30-minute free reading and one medical intuitive naturopathic doctor's intake. Those are what I'm donating. So that'll be cool. Yeah. Looks like they're finally fixing everything, which is good. I'm very happy that we are finally getting transportation. Like, we got so behind with all that just people on religious extremism, screaming about God and abortion, and meanwhile the entire country was going underwater. This problem's been going on since Reagan, really, just cutting infrastructure spending and maximizing and just letting rich people get away with anything. And we went so far off the beaten track that the country literally collapsed. The buildings collapsed. Schools look like prisons. It would be nice to have real law and order, not somebody who just claims they want law and order, but somebody who's actually going to do something about it. I don't know where it's going to be. I imagine it's going to be somewhere on YouTube. Debbie would know more about that. Debbie Lupine is arranging it. All right, let's do some blitzes. Oh, the line never opened after Katrina? Well, I guess it will open now. All right, whenever you're ready, we will blitz, blitz, blitz away. Whenever I get the order. So let's see if we have some questions already. But that is your reading. So it looks like some of you are going to get jobs and new inspiration, and it's a time of building and constructing things, which is nice. J'adore l'American food. Me too. In fact, I'm tempted to go get some more. You had some, well, did you have red meat? Red meat would be acidic, spicy food would be acidic. Or did you have something that was easy to digest? Like cheese tamales would probably be relatively easy to digest if they were light on the cheese. Yeah, a little bit of baking soda in your coffee does help get the acid down. Yeah, some people have menopause for life. So we would say that try and be on a pitta pacifying diet in Ayurvedics. And for you, you may benefit from ice water. Ice water is not injurious. It's actually hot heat that's associated with throat cancers. Barrett's esophagus from acid reflux. So not everyone should be told not to have ice water. Some people need to get in the ice, drink the ice, drown in the ice. You know who you are, ladies. It's like sometimes I get so overheated that I throw myself in the ice baths, and I'm like so hot. My core temperature is so hot that literally, I mean, this was packed with ice and just the heat, no ice now, right? So it just melts so fast. Um, some people, it's good. That's what I learned. Well, I learned it with hydrotherapy, that ice and alternating hot and cold. And when it's an acute, we want to ice. So sometimes ice is good. Yeah. Your hair is green. Oh, the green screen. Yeah, I have a green screen. The green screen. That might get rid of some of the green. Has to do with how much light I have on the screen. And if I don't have the backlight on. The backlight usually takes care of the green. Oh, you ordered some dragon's blood. Very nice. That'll be highly protective. I had a green smoothie to start with. I got protein and greens by Paradise. That's what I had for breakfast with some oat milk. I put some flax in it, and then I put some green of spinach and kale. I whipped that up, and I put some. I usually put some nuts in it or nut butter. Yeah, so I have it every day, and then I made sure to take my vitamins. I took my women over 50 multi by Thorn Research, 2 teaspoons of Nordic Naturals fish oil, and DHEA 25 milligrams, which is a precursor hormone. Seems to help with hot flashes. That's probably why I have less of them now. And then I had a second snack, which is I finished off the Cheerios, and I had a little bit of salad and some crackers and cheese. But I was up at like 4:30 in the morning. So, yeah, so that's everything I've had so far today. Yeah. Gorgeous country. Oh, I can't wait to get to Ireland tomorrow. It's going to be fun. 7 Up for nausea. Well, ginger ale contains no ginger, so it would be better to actually boil some ginger with some sliced lemon and honey, and that would be a much better thing, I'm sure. War is hell. Are you? Ukrainian jet fighter was killed by friendly fire. Well, that's unfortunate. Um, I would say, given the information that I've seen, if you're concerned about your friends in Moscow based on the remotes, they should go northeast away from the war because it will mostly be on the western side. And the defense systems in Moscow are failing, and the eastern flank is failing, which surprises me. Okay, let's look at Netanyahu and Israel and the rebuild and all that stuff. What's going on with Netanyahu? What is going on with Netanyahu? Back and forth. He genuinely is back and forth. So I think he honestly doesn't know what to do at this point. Hamas, by the way, keeps rejecting the ceasefire, so it's not really fair to blame him uh, because they want to continue to be operating in Gaza, and that's not an option. So in the next couple of weeks, there's something is going to happen in the next couple of weeks that could cause us to let certain things go. And I hope that's not the Philadelphia corridor, because that would be, oh, he's going to be given assistance. Justice will come to Sinwar, the fool, his opposition. Justice will come to him. I think that they're going to probably capture Sinwar in the next couple weeks. There he is. And then after Hamas has been captured, then we will see more open-mindedness and more tolerance from Egypt to negotiate shared protection of the Philadelphia corridor, because you can see the lover's card moving in. But I see Sinwar going down in the next couple of weeks. The truth of the matter is, I think that there's a large percentage of people in Iran that want to cut ties with extremist groups and stop funding Hezbollah. That was one of the reasons why they think Ibrahim Raisi was taken out, partially by the Iranian Guard, was because the military wants to take over and get rid of all the extremism. So I think in the next couple of weeks, we could see the end of Sinwar, the total collapse of Hamas in Gaza and its leadership. And at that point, we could be seeing cooperation between Israel and Egypt based on those cards. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at Putin. Future of Putin. It's extremely angry. So we could be just seeing like the end of when we saw Saddam Hussein, when he was taken out, where He just went crazy and began burning oil fields. The Knight of Swords is like a helter-skelter. We could see kind of crazy behavior from him as he becomes increasingly desperate. The opposition is his own church, so he has a breaking away with church leadership. So as he loses control of his own people and his former allies, lack of money is his main concern. And the final outcome for Putin, he's going to have to negotiate lovers, reach across the aisle. Let's see more. Look at that. It's become increasingly obvious to Putin that he's lost this war. His opposition, surprisingly, is his own church. Yeah, this church is the church in his own military. This is a military card. So the military is no longer with him and his church is no longer with him. He's run out of money because he mismanaged it. Also, people are hiding information from him. They are hiding Russian resources, institutions, schools, universities, scientists are actually hiding things so that they won't be handed over to the military. Moving to smoother waters. Again, look, northeast direction. Final outcome for Putin. Offer of healing. He's going to be given an offer. There's a part of him that's very Asian, right? They border China. It's the person who's been beaten, who is given a healing offer so that he doesn't look like he completely lost the war. This doesn't look like an assassination. It looks like he has to negotiate a peace treaty, and he's lost. Armistice, the negotiator, peaceful home, hopes and fears the presidency. Look at this. It's finished. I think it's, you know what? I also think it's finished for Donald Trump. I know people get tired of hearing about Donald Trump, but in the case of Donald Trump, I think that he was just bankrupted. A lot of things happened to take Donald Trump out. The first was that he wound up with all these legal problems, and then he ran out of money, and now it's coming out that he's bankrupting the RNC, which is having a negative impact on down ballot races. So he's not just taking himself out, he's taking the down ballot races out because they don't have any money because it's all going to his legal fees. So you can imagine the resentment. The other thing that came up with him was his own financial problems. Civil war inside the RNC was inevitable because it was not sustainable. So we knew inevitably it would lead to them imploding. And then the third issue had to do with his own health, that 8 years have passed since 2016. So he's not what he was. He's had COVID at least once or twice. He nearly died one time from having COVID. I just don't feel good in my body as him. And I think that his confidence has been deeply shaken. And the more shaken his confidence, the more he has openly lied, made up stories. Yeah, it's very, very sad. Blu-ray ask a question about the royals. Oh, yes, the royals are at it again. Those wonderful, wonderful royals. Yes, we love them so very much. William and Harry are at it again, yes. Two brothers in arms, yes. They were at the funeral, yes, of their uncle. What was the psychic temperature between them? Don't know if you can HCRB two at a time. Well, let's just look at the energy and see. I recently started. The first time I made contact with anyone in the royal family, it was Queen Elizabeth, and she was talking about the disaster of marrying her husband, and that was the shock. I had an astral dream where I was invited to be with the Queen, and I got to meet that woman with the long brown hair that helped Meghan, one of the personal assistants. Anyway, I didn't know who it was, but I saw her in the dream. And it was a very intimate conversation where she talked about how unbelievably incompatible her and Philip were, and that she immediately regretted it after she married him. Like, what have I done? And then she had to carry on and get on with it. And they made the relationship work, but they were really, it became obvious to her really quickly that they were wrong for each other. So that was kind of an interesting conversation the first time I connected with Queen Elizabeth. Then the second time I connected was with Prince Harry. And he was talking about the working man can't get ahead. He was talking like a socialist. Comrade! I thought, whoa, what the heck has he been reading? So that was a shock. And then the last time I latched on to a bruncheon that he and his wife were holding, which led me to believe that Kate was doing much better after her cancer treatment, and that they had worked out their differences and that they were going to stay together. They were very close to divorce, but in the last dream I had with William and Kate, they were together. And you know what I learned from that dream is that William cannot survive without Kate. He is very awkward in social situations, and she is much better at socializing than he is. So that's kind of what I took away from my last dream of William and Kate, is that they are not getting a divorce, that they have worked it out, and that he would be lost without her. So it's a good thing that he's making it work. But let's take a look at William and Harry. If they get a divorce, he won't survive. Not the guy I saw. He has a real hard time even just chatting with people. He heavily relies on Kate. He's one of those guys that doesn't want to admit how much he needs his wife. You know. Well, I guess we all do that, right? We get interdependent, and then we want to believe we can do it on our own. William and Harry. It goes back to an issue of professionalism and duty, and this idea that part of being dutiful is to behave in an appropriate manner in public events, and that you're not there for you. And I find myself channeling King Charles and this idea of duty, and to get over yourself, get over your own ego, and believing that you can behave like this in a public way at a public event. It's not all about you. And you two boys need to act like adults. It's a funeral. People are grieving, and act like adults. People are not there to watch you act out your emotional issues. The king comes in. So that would be King Charles. He comes in. What are you doing? What are you, 5 years old? You're the future king. Get a grip. Act like the future king. Having a temper tantrum at somebody's funeral and you're the future king. So there's this feeling of it's not going to happen. Emperor comes in and he's the good daddy. He creates boundaries, appropriate behavior. No, you may not. There's a huge transformation happening. But this is zero tolerance. When Emperor comes in, that's the way it's going to be. Law and order. Rationale. Behave like adults. Even if it kills you, behave like adults, boys. Right. So major changes happening. Destiny, and then Six of Cups would be There's a feeling that Harry's behavior was not appropriate. But at the same time, Harry and Meghan felt that they had no choice but to go public with the problems. At this point, though, it's as if Charles is saying that your behavior is so inappropriate and embarrassing. You're both behaving so terribly. You're an embarrassment. Yeah. Also, the Queen of Wands is territorial. I feel this good energy coming in with the Empress. Still on guard. I just feel like William needs more help than he's willing to admit to. And then here again, Six of Pentacles, which would be justice. It's interesting you have two boys, one receiving the coin, one does not. But Six of Cups, that would lead me to think that he's going to get his wish and get the security he needs with the Six of Pentacles coming in. And I also think that this is suggesting that King Charles is starting to lay down the law a little bit with his kids, that he's had enough. Behave like adults. Because that Emperor is really about sane, appropriate behavior. Hello, Janet Lee from Arizona. Yeah, NATO personnel in Poland. It's very likely. Yes, I think they'll go in. We can check to see if NATO's going in, but I'm pretty sure they are. Is NATO marching on Moscow? It's pretty much there, but it's just very sad. They're very closely watching the situation. This is to be mobilized. Remember, wands are territory. Hammering out a truce, possibly. I just see them try. Look at this, expert and mastery. They would rather not with these kind of cards, but yeah, marching towards victory. Look at that, Six of Wands. Again, Wands territory. Yes. Peace. It looks to me like they will, and if there is no peace, yeah, Zelensky's going in. This is Zelensky. I think that they could be in Moscow within the next 3 to 4 months. They could be marching on Moscow within 3 to 4 months. So, I like to give you guys dates because I am that way. We can go ahead and stick a pin in it, as Rachel Maddow would say, and that gets us into about December. Christmas card. December, January, we could see troops in Moscow. And I had also mentioned that major expose on Trump would be hitting sometime around the 18th of September, between the 18th and 24th. Is that correct? Do people remember the dates? Those of you who write. Yeah, it looked like it was sometimes between 18th. Yeah, so it's going to be hitting. I think they're going to do an expose on his past business and also former victims of rape allegations, his relationship with Epstein. A lot of that stuff's going to be coming out. But the next 3 weeks, expect to hear major disclosures coming out on Trump. I also think that Trump is going to be evicted from Mar-a-Lago. I think he sold. He went bank. He doesn't have the ability. He's not very good at business. And so he tends to tank and spend more money than he earns because he just wants to party all the time. It would appear based on the remotes that he maybe owns 10% of Mar-a-Lago and the other 90% he sold for cash, and also gave permission for illegal activities to take place at Mar-a-Lago for cash when he needed cash. And that scheme will probably be coming out in the next couple of weeks. But he's basically, the people that really own Mar-a-Lago are probably going to kick him out. Yeah. Again, thank you everyone who was kind enough to donate to water.org. We've already raised over $100. If you are having fun today, think about donating to water.org. They're a great organization. Why were the hostages murdered? Because that is what Hamas does. That is what Hamas does. Life means nothing to these people. Probably because they know that Hamas is finished and they want to stay controlling Gaza, which is over. They're finished in Gaza. They will not be part of the rebuild. And the only bargaining chip they have is the hostages. One of the hostages died. They found people that just starved to death. They just didn't feed them. The senior that they found, I believe, they just starved him to death. It's a level of evil that most of us can't even begin to understand. Thank God. Why were the hostages murdered? By the sword. Lived by the sword, died by the sword. The King of Swords. It's a war. Their enemy is smarter than them. The scholar. They are fighting the scholar. The King of Swords is fighting the scholars. Looking. What are they looking for? They're looking for the hostages, right? So we got very close. Hopes and fears, negotiations, and ancestry. So their inheritance, what they think is their inheritance. Very interesting. And the final outcome is heartbreak for Hamas. Over the Hamas, they're going to be taken over by the King of Wands. And remember, the King of Wands is territorial. So they're taken over by the King of Wands, the Lion of Judah. So it's on top of them. So Israel will retake Gaza. Their opposition, the poverty, the poverty of Gaza, the loss of Gaza. They refused a truce, they refused a ceasefire, and they refused safe passage even. Okay, great, go to Algeria. They refused, so they kind of put themselves in the situation. They will grieve many losses. They may survive in another country, but they will fall out of favor during the rebuild as more and more people run to Oasis. In time, Hamas will become less and less favorable. That's what the research showed. It's like some people tried to be kamikazes after America took Japan, but nobody could really get into it because there were jobs in Okinawa. Life was better. They were treated with dignity during the rebuild, during the Marshall Plan. And so people just weren't motivated to get into planes and crash into. There were a few attempts. There were a few kamikazes after the end, but it didn't really take off, right? And that's probably what will happen in Gaza. It may take a generation or two, but if the Marshall Plan is implemented the way they want to do it, in time, Hamas will no longer be attractive because the needs of the people will be met. Well, some people think we should have never left Gaza, and that our mistake, I'm Israeli, our mistake was that we did not implement integration and Oasis protocol sooner. And we learned from that mistake, and hopefully we are going to change and implement a program like Oasis, which I believe we will. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Lots of nice people donating. Thank you so much. I'm seeing everyone. Thank you, Eric Eckhart, for that lovely donation. Thank you, Rich, for the $20 donation. Much appreciated. Much gratitude to all of you. Oh, people getting rid of their old stuff, and we have some nice feng shui happening. Very nice. Okay, we have another question coming in. Joel Tilson, DOJ has sued realtors for rent home price gouging. AG Garland announced it this week. Yes, so it looks like as a result of that, people's rents could be dropping, and we could be getting a check for the price we overpaid if we paid an extra $200 or $300 a month, because that's how lawsuits, class action lawsuits work. Is you all sign it, and then you get a portion. Let's take a look. Well, if you're not supposed to be paying $2,000 or $1,500, you're only supposed to be paying $750, and you've been paying too much for 3 years. That works out to be the price of a new house, right? Or in my case, another trip abroad. Because I'm not buying property, I'm traveling. People are like, how do you afford it? Because I don't own anything. I own nothing. Yes, we're going to win. You can see here the Nine of Pentacles. It's good for the retirement. They know they lost. Hanged man. They will hang. The sooner they hang it up and cooperate with the DOJ, the better, because if they drag it out, they'll only be sued for more. Hopes and fears. Knight of Pentacles is economics. It's Taurus. It's slow and steady. It's the foundation of economics. And King of Pentacles, the final outcome. Let's clarify that. Yeah, there he is, Biden. He himself could barely afford a house, right? He almost lost his house when his son, Beau, had to go under surgery. Yeah, look, we get our stars. Good for us. Look at that. Money in the bank. Mm-hmm. Temperance. Yeah, they lost. And they're angry they lost. We have a right to set the prices however we like. That's their argument. It goes back to this whole idea of what you think you're entitled to. What do you think you're entitled to? Well, if you've been given the power, you don't want to give the power up, right? So in the case of the wealthy, maybe they were given all this power, all this leeway, and then after a while, you begin to believe you're entitled to it, and maybe they felt that they were entitled to set prices. That seemed to be what they were saying. This kind of entitlement, and we can charge whatever we like. It's an interesting conversation. Are they entitled? I don't know. Oh, the judge is sentencing Trump on September 18th? Oh my. Wow, I didn't know that. I thought it was the 10th. Well, let's see about the oh, we're up to $121. Yay! 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much gratitude. Yes. We have donated $121 to water.org. You are amazing. You are fantastic. Okay, I'm getting nervous. I empathize with everyone, especially, even Trump. because I can't bear to see someone suffer. And he looks terrible. He looks like he doesn't sleep. He's got anxiety. His finances are going up in smoke. He's down 6 points in the polls. It's like, I just feel terrible. He's just sliding in the poll. I just feel terrible for the guy. I want to help the guy, right? I want to be the person that unlocks the key to the padded cell, right? To get him on that. If he was properly medicated, who knows? I feel bad. I do. I really do. All right, let's look at the sentencing of Trump and his legal woes going forward. What will be with Trump in the future? What will be with Trump in the future? What's going on with his sentencing? I don't know, my loves. I don't know. Oh, Saudi Arabia owns Mar-a-Lago. That's what I've heard. Dubai and Saudi Arabia. Well, he was hard up for cash. They basically pay to play, right? New beginning. So a new way that we have to look at the situation. There's something new coming, a new celebration. It's all about a new beginning and a new celebration. His hopes and fears, denial, Two of Swords. There's a kind of denial there. King of the Emperor's card. No money. He's out of money. The new beginning. He's wiped out his resources. So in plainer words, God, what's he going to do? Well, he's selling trading cards, right? Trading cards and sneakers. God, can you believe that a president is acting? I don't think we've ever seen a president act like. Of course not. The new beginning in his opposition, a new inheritance. Somebody else receives the inheritance. That's interesting. Oh, I get it. And then the hopes and fear. Yeah, he doesn't have any money. Ace of Pentacles. Look at this. This is frugality. And this is how could somebody need this much money? Most of us are fine on $50K a year, right? Oh, somebody said he might leave the United States. That's very possible. There's a Three of Wands. That could indicate he has good fortune outside the U.S. He may also have economic resources outside the U.S. I wonder if he's going to be incarcerated, though, because he has these cards that would indicate that he is looking to possibly start a new life somewhere else. Maybe he'll be left alone in Dubai. A lot of people, there's a lot of wealthy people in Dubai. If he has bank accounts outside the U.S., but is he going to be incarcerated? Because a lot of people think that he could be winding up incarcerated at the end of this. He got away with it. Delay, delay, delay. It's ridiculous. It's like he gets cornered. We are victorious. He is in the lunatic, the moon, stressed at night. Look at the scholars over him. It should not have been this difficult to contain somebody this crazy. Look at this thief. He's being accused of theft. Oh, I know why. Look at this police raid. Remember when we were talking about more problems coming out of Florida, and then Jack Smith refiled again and said it wasn't presidential duty? You have this police coming after him, and then look at this stress, and this is the thief's card. He's been given an Ace of Cups. I don't know how they would work out a house arrest with this guy, though, because it would be hard. Ace of Cups would indicate some kind of possible deal, but he's in a lot of trouble over theft. With those cards, that's a thief's card. And the fact that they're coming in that hard over an allegation of thief, it goes back to when they raided Mar-a-Lago. And these criminal acts, more stuff coming out about crime over Mar-a-Lago. That's what kept coming up, that there's more to this, that it's not just that more stuff is, and him being pushed out of Mar-a-Lago, and then major investigations into criminal activity, money laundering, etc. out of Mar-a-Lago. That's basically what the cards said. That's what the remotes have set up to this point. Not a very good business. Oh, 1111 is here. Hello, my love. Good to see you. He's not very good at business. Some people benefit and should drink ice water. And actually fever is more likely to damage the organs. If you get 106, you can die. It can fry your brain. It can actually damage vital organs. It's one of the things that can damage the pancreas, etc. So in feeble people who have cold digestion, we don't recommend ice water. That's true. But in somebody who is, if you're looking at Wim Hof method, that was the water we drank. When we were living in the forest, we would break some ice. If you look at Scandinavia, they're not terrified of ice. The kids go and play in the snow naked. Not this fear that you're going to die. If you need ice, you crack the ice and then you put it in a bucket and you drag it back with you. Or you crack the ice and you put your face down and you drink the water after you've cracked the ice. We don't have to be as afraid of these things. We're far stronger than that. And people used to take baths that way too. They would build a fire and crack the ice. There's that one woman, she sings to her cows. She shows how she washes her clothing, and she cracks the ice and she's washing her clothing in ice water and then hanging it outside under fire and drinking the ice water and bathing in the ice water and singing these crazy Nordic songs. And she looks like she's in pretty good shape. And just lugging big things of laundry and washing it in ice water. And just like most of us would be like, oh my God. But they're fine. They live long, healthy lives. It's all good. This is something that comes up a lot, is this idea that something is inside that casket. Is something inside that casket? I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think that there's something in that casket? And if so, what? Do you think that he was burying vital records? That he stole so many records? And then, weren't they on a plane taking stuff? Did they take any of that stuff to Bedminster? Did that happen? Yeah, I think there's something there too. But, it would be pretty darn controversial to dig her up, even though most of us were thinking the same thing. Somebody asked a really interesting question. We'll do Ivanna's casket next. Oh, yeah. Let's take a look. Do we have any? This is so much fun today, isn't it? Yeah, we're having fun. We're going a little extra time. I need to end pretty soon. There are rumors about documents at Westminster. This guy is out of control. Are there documents at Bedminster or inside the gosh, it's just crazy. Let's just look at the casket. You know, he used her in the past to help him out. She kept some of his secrets, from what it looks like. The lover, he looked to her. So he may have in the past, she may have known a lot of stuff. Oh, the cops are around. The cops know something is up. This guy is such a con artist. Oh my God. This is very interesting. He's going to have to negotiate handing over stuff that he's taken, because you have the Two of Cups and then you have the Page of Cups, which would be a healing and it's like this guy, if he had handed everything over, they gave him so many opportunities. I think this has become an international case. Yes. I think that the documents case is an international case. It's possible that there's other documents, because you have international over the police. And this is a treasure trove evidence, right? It's a treasure trove card. It's like a treasure trove. And I guess this is his wife. He buried something of great value. Ace of Pentacles. Whatever he buried, it was of great value. It was worth a lot of money. It was something of great value. I don't know what that would be, because they're used. Look at these images. Wealth. What the hell did he bury? Hidden money that he didn't like, hidden wealth? What the hell? Or something worth a tremendous amount of wealth. Huh, that's really interesting. If he gets sentenced, how would he? The precious. Oh, the precious. Who authorized? Well, that was, I think, his. Isn't that what happened with the chief of staff? Mark Meadows turned state's evidence that it was Mark Meadows possibly that did that. Evidently, that's what people have said, that it was most likely Mark Meadows. Yeah. But what they're saying in the remote is that the police are well aware of the coffin, that there is something hidden there, and it is of great value. It is of great importance, of great value. And that's all I know. It's like, if I was in Westminster when nobody was around, I would dig the damn thing up. It's not like there's a body there. It's a cremation urn. I don't know. They didn't say something that he could sell or was worth a great deal of wealth. Yes, Mark Meadows, I think they said, yeah, it was a heavy coffin. That's interesting. But people think it may have been something under the coffin. It's just, It's all going to have to be dug up. It's just so horrible. Go in at 2 a.m., dig it up, and take it away with a helicopter. Yeah, something is definitely there because um, the Empress or Gaia or the divine is referred to, the treasure trove that ever overflows, right? That's what we think of. The Empress is the treasure trove that ever overflows. So whatever it was, and then Ace of Pentacles is extreme wealth. So, and King of Swords is the police. His opposition was the police. So something's going on. I can't wait to see what nuclear secrets. That's interesting. Yeah, that it could have been secrets that were vital to the enemy and they were buried. And then if he desperately needed money, he could dig them up and hand them to, because they said that some of the originals were missing. And it's likely that the missing original documents that were state security were buried there and could be sold. Yeah, that's probably a good guess. Oh my gosh. All right, my loves, we had a heck of a great time together. Please check out Psychics for Democracy. I don't know which channel it's going to be on. I wish I could promote it better. Maybe somebody, Debbie, knows where that is going to be. A chamber under the coffin, that makes sense. And it would appear that it's something of great value that could be sold, or that it's extreme wealth. The Empress and Ace of Pentacles, it's something of extreme wealth, very important. Okay, if you are trying to get a reading with me, you can book through Booksy. I will be back on the 14th of September, and I will also be available anytime with Wizio. Those are the pre-taped 5-minute readings, and that information is below, and I usually can get those back to you in a couple of days. And I think that's all I have for you. Don't forget to check out Belle, our book of the month. That 10 Men to Carry It. Are you kidding me? Wow. Oh, you like my top? Thank you so much. Yeah, I wanted something in like a sky blue with kind of like Asian design. Yeah. I just got it on Amazon. I do use Amazon, but Amazon sells local companies, right? So I don't know. I find it convenient. All right, my loves, be kind to all so that all will be kind to you. God bless. Take care. All that good stuff. Peace out. I will see you all. Probably I'll be shooting some stuff out of Ireland, and so you will be able. I try to do my meditations where I'm at so that you get all of that beautiful, nice energy. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It means a lot, and thank you so much for the donations. Much love, much gratitude.